Hi, Luis. This is Michael from BetterTOEFLScores.com. I'm listening to a speaking practice test that you sent me, and you seem concerned. So let's take a look at this email. I decided to do a YouTube video. It helps me kind of organize my ideas a little bit more. And there's a lot of people at YouTube that probably have the same question. So you said, please provide me feedback on my recording. So you're using my TOEFL speaking and writing feedback service. I offer this at Better TOEFL Scores. And your question is, how do I break 24 points plateau? I seem stuck on this score on the speaking and I can't. I think you want to put a word in there. I cannot maybe achieve a higher mark. Okay, so the main thing is we got to listen to your speaking. And so if you're scoring around 24, you're doing I think you're doing some things correctly in the 4 area, but there's enough things in the 3 you're having trouble with that are bringing your score down. Okay, so let's take a look. Here we go.
In my view, I think that having multiple jobs, it is much more beneficial for the worker in terms of different experiences and being
The first 10 seconds of this response, I can already tell you're not going to pass. How do I know that? Let's go back to what you just did in the beginning.
in my view, I think that having
So, in my view, I think that all of those words are unnecessary. They do not do anything to further your argument.
multiple jobs, it is much
Having multiple jobs and then it. Why are you repeating the subject unnecessarily? You have a gerund there, right? You have you're using a gerund phrase in the beginning of the sentence. There's no need to use it after that. So that's a sentence structure error there. So you need to be able to control the grammar and not use a lot of unnecessary words there.
having multiple jobs, it is much more beneficial for the worker in terms of different experiences and being a more well-rounded professional than
So in terms of different experiences, being a well-rounded professional, so different experiences, that's not very focused. It will be very difficult to provide examples to support that idea.
stick with one career for the rest of their lives. And furthermore, myself, as an
So
example,
you stated that first reason, but you didn't elaborate on it. There's no specific concrete detail to go with that first idea. So that's very vague at best. So that's one of the reasons I think in topic development that's holding you back. If you state a reason, find a specific concrete example to support that idea.
I am in my fourth job, and throughout those years, I accumulated a lot of experience, and I became
So
a
you've
very
accumulated a lot of experience. What type of experience? Managerial experience, accounting experience, experience with statistics and table compilations. You know, what is it? What do you think you've learned? So again, you're using a lot of imprecise language there. You're not very specific.
diverse professional because of that. And due to it, I am I will have an edge if I wanted to move to another company compared to someone who just stuck with
Instead,
one job.
due to this vast experience accrued over 10 years, maybe that might be better and more specific.
Throughout their life.
Okay, so let me listen to the whole thing without making any comments, and I'm going to give you some ideas. So it's clear to me that you're just not natural enough with the language, I think, to get that 26 points or higher. To get 26 or higher, you need to be one of the top 1% of anybody taking the TOEFL exam. Essentially, you need to be really, really fluent with the language. I see pauses and hesitations when you're speaking. I see a lot of imprecise, vague type vocabulary, limitations with your syntactic variety, and so on. I think all these things are holding you back. But let's listen to it one more time.
In my view, I think that having multiple jobs, it is much more beneficial for the worker in terms of different experiences and being a more well-rounded professional than stick with one career for the rest of their lives. And furthermore, myself, as an example, I am in my fourth job, and throughout those years, I accumulated
Even that, for example, myself, blah, 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 I am in my fourth job. But why are we putting myself in the beginning of that sentence? That's a reflexive pronoun, right? In the beginning of your sentences, you want to use subject pronouns, not reflexive pronouns, right? So again, the word choice in your grammar, it's just not up to par. It's not showing a lot of extensive experience with English.
lot of experience, and I became a very diverse professional because of that. And due to it, I am I will have an edge if I wanted to move to another company compared to someone who just stuck with one job throughout their life.
All right, so let's take a look at the rubrics here. So what do you do? So delivery, generally well-paced flow, fluid expression, clear speech. Language use, effective use of grammar, vocabulary, high degree of automaticity. That's killing you right now. With good control of basic and complex structures, you have responses sustained, well-developed, coherent, relationships are clear, right? So I jotted down some notes. And how do you break 24 points? Remember that even many of you at YouTube, you have the same question. And remember that it depends on your situation. With Luis, I think here's some things that you can do to improve your speaking score, right? So I'm just going to talk to you directly. Hi, Luis. Thanks for sending your recording. You're definitely making progress, and you are. And it's great that you're aiming to break past a 24-point plateau. You got to get past that, get your TOEFL score, move on with your life, right? Based on my analysis, here are some key areas to focus on that will help you move toward a higher speaking score. Number one, eliminate I think that, or in my view that, it is my opinion that. This phrase is often unnecessary and can weaken your delivery. Instead of saying, I think that the professor is correct, simply say, the professor is correct. This creates a stronger, more assertive tone, which can make your response sound more confident and fluent. Number two, avoid vague subjects like it. Avoid using unclear pronouns like it at the beginning of sentences, or using unclear pronouns can lead to a choppy speaking style. I feel that a little bit when you're speaking, especially in the beginning. You remember I replayed the first 10 seconds twice? Um, for example, it is difficult, it takes time, can be improved to learning a new language is difficult and takes time. That's going to be much better sentence than having those two short sentences, both of which are using the unclear pronoun it. This approach combines ideas and improves your coherence. Three, this is important. Listen up. Increase your speaking rate with longer thought groups. Try to lengthen your phrases to include about 5 to 6 stress words before pausing. Short, frequent pauses make your speech sound hesitant. For instance, instead of saying, the man is upset because the bus was late, try the man is upset because the bus was late. The smoother rhythm helps with your fluency score. Now you're not that bad. The example I gave you was really absurd, but you are somewhat like that, Luis. You do have some pauses and interruptions in the sentences that you speak. Number four, avoid saying myself as a subject. It's more natural and grammatically correct to say I instead of myself. For example, I prefer studying in the morning is correct. You don't want to say myself, I prefer studying. There's no need to say myself and then I. That's just unnecessary repetition there. And that brings me to five. Watch for repetitive language. Repeating words like a lot or phrases such as a lot weakens your lexical variety. I think you don't want to say I have a lot of. You don't want to repeat a word more than once like that. It's showing that your automaticity is not very high, and then you have to repeat to kind of get your train of thought. TOEFL raters are looking for a range of vocabularies, so try to use synonyms and rephrase when possible. For example, instead of saying a lot of work, try saying plenty of tasks or a heavy workload. Number 6, this kind of goes back to number 1. Reduce conversational fillers. Words like and, it make your response sound less polished. Practice structuring your thoughts more clearly so your ideas are connected logically rather than by filters or by fillers. Number 7, improve vowel pronunciation. Some of your vowel sounds still reflect a Spanish speaking accent, which affects your intelligibility. Focus on clearly pronouncing English vowel pairs like shit versus sheep, bit versus beat. This will help raters understand you more easily and can lead to a higher pronunciation score. So, scoring above 24, it requires not just solid content, but a clear, confident delivery with fluid, well connected speech. Work on producing longer, more natural sounding thought groups. Pay attention to how your grammar, vocabulary, and pronunciation all contribute to your overall fluency. And that's exactly how you can score higher than 24 points.